All right, man. Welcome to another episode of All Into Wrestling. This is a NerdFlow podcast bonus show. I am Royalty Gaming from the NerdFlow podcast team and also have Snapback here with me as well. This is the bonus show for NerdFlow podcast that talks about all things wrestling. And today we're going to be talking about our predictions for WrestleMania 37, which is next weekend, which is supposed to be a 2-day event. So we're going to go take it day by day as far as the matches for each day. We'll give our take on it. And we're going to talk about some other things with New Japan, with the new IWGP World Heavyweight title, and talk about some other things that's going on in the world of wrestling. What is up, Snap?
Oh, making sure that the WWE, making sure that the straps are in order with the right champions, and making sure the women wrestlers keep up along with the men wrestlers. Make sure they keep up kayfabe, and since we no longer have these house shows. It's a crazy mofo. You know what I'm saying? No more blood or choking, and they can't do this over the belt, right? So, it's crazy. It's like a curb stomp over this whole industry. If you don't know what I'm doing, ladies and gentlemen, those are just some of the words that are quote unquote banned in WWE. And there's more on the list, such as needs a push, wife beater. You can't say WWF, wrestling, wrestlers. Oh, I'm sorry, I actually said that multiple times. You can't say violence, violent, victims, spinal injuries, the anti-diva, DQ, trauma, headshot, heel to
Who used to be
jobber.
who used to be called an anti-diva? Was that Victoria?
Paige. I know Paige was one of them.
Yeah, she was called an anti-diva. I wonder why did they. That's a weird one.
And that's the thing, I think recently Paige said, she wants to get back into wrestling, and honestly, with all the success stories of Edge and Daniel Bryan, it's possible that she could come back too. But it's gonna be a weird thing that she can't go by that moniker now. What is she supposed to call herself now? I mean, she has the whole "This is my house" slogan, but the anti-diva
that gets on my nerves so bad.
This is my.
I hate that became a thing. Like when she was saying it, I'm like, oh my god, why can't you just be just like silent and emo and just like kick people in the face or whatever?
I ain't gonna lie. She could talk a lot of noise if she wants to. It's just
this is my house.
Expect her to. It's you've had a lot of things because honestly, she comes across. I have never seen her Twitch. I've never seen any of her Twitch videos. But she comes across to me as somebody. Oh, you have. So you can correct me if I'm wrong here. She comes across as somebody who can use a lot of dry humor and can honestly hit you where it hurts when it comes to her words too. That's what she kind of looks like. So, with that being said, I would expect for Paige, especially not being the cookie cutter diva, or I'm so sorry, I keep messing up. I apologize, our dear fans that are listening. I wasn't supposed to use that word. We have to censor that. Sorry, but yeah, I expect for her to at least use something because that's that whole anti-diva thing. It's and the whole "this is my house" thing fit that typical cookie cutter diva thing. You know what I'm saying? So I need her to be, if she does come back, be more edgy. And like I said, the whole list of words thing. Recently, I remember the program with Drew McIntyre and Seth last year. They over here letting people say, bullshit on the USA Network and all that. It's like, all right, we went from a year of just having that slip out every now and then to now it's banned to say the word wrestler, despite that being what you guys are, pro wrestlers. Like,
it was really funny when they say, the feud is real serious when they let them say, bitch.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. This is the thing that kills me. There was a time in which this was not something that was supposed to be special. It's supposed to be the word bitch was something that was casually thrown around. Like I said, like the word damn, hell, all that. It was something that was casually thrown around. But nowadays, I don't know. It's a certain feeling. If you were a fan growing up back in the day, like the feeling you got when I say this a lot when Hell in a Cell, a match like that was coming up, right?
Mm-hmm.
The feeling you got, like the build up and the feeling of it is like the Armageddon one, the 6-man Armageddon one in 2000.
Mm-hmm.
You literally thought these men was about to die. Even in the opening promo, the opening video package of the pay per view, it had it seem like this is everybody gonna die, not just these men. Everybody gonna die because
And
it's
the
just
and the
like
problem is with that though is that it's it's because they made it like a pay per view theme instead of it being something that happens when a feud is like super serious or it's been taken to that level. So man, we gotta do this in Hell in a Cell because it's just that deep. It's a blood feud. But now it's just it's October again. I guess we'll go ahead and do Hell in a Cell.
yeah, it's that time of the year, folks.
Yeah,
Then they want to do it in the spooky month. Of course, it's supposed to be something very
we
scary.
gotta we gotta we
It's
gotta make it red so we can no.
it's the devil's playground and all this type of stuff. And it's like, nah, in case in point, if you don't think this is the true thing, 2019,
If you're real bad, set the
The
cage on
Fiend versus
fire.
Seth Rollins. Oh no, they wouldn't dare do something like that. Granted, yeah, they just did the whole Fiend thing.
Just set the whole cage on fire. Let the match happen in a burning cage. There we go. You want to be real
They
bad?
wouldn't. They wouldn't dare do such a thing like that. I don't know why. I just have a feeling somebody is gonna have something very bad to say about this whole thing. Even though, in theory, that concept is actually something that you would want, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie, that would be something I know somebody gonna have a thing to say, and I just it's like, hey, people, let somebody be great, something be great. You know what I'm saying? We live in a PG era time of this whole company.
Well, they're playing
Let
to the.
something be great.
They're playing. I mean, in retrospect, in a lot of cases, they're playing to the audience of one, which is Vince McMahon. So, and that's
I
in
mean,
a lot of cases, it's we the things we do kind of like we kind of get one every so often here and there. Case in
yeah,
point, as we get into some of the topic. Case in point, Monday Night Raw when it kicked off with what seems like the breakup of the Hurt Business.
the most dumbest decision you could ever, if you get. All right. Even if you got somebody like Batista, of all people, who couldn't make the Hall of Fame this year because of his busy schedule, go out his way and still keep up with the current product and tell you that was a dumb business move. Not saying that, his opinion fully matters, but it just goes to show you how this was actually, it's reached out to everybody. That was, in my opinion, a sale that was fully unfinished. And according to I think a report, somebody said, MVP, Bobby Lashley, they actually didn't want this to happen because they both lobbied against it, but
Yeah, they did.
overruled.
Vince McMahon was like strongly pushing for it, to happen. I know MVP did get on Twitter and say that he said the Hurt Business is not it. The Hurt Business is him and Bobby Lashley, so they can recruit anybody to continue Hurt Business. So I'm guessing, does that mean that Cedric and Shelton are out of the Hurt Business now? So it's gonna be because people have been floating around a new Hurt Business, which the graphic that a lot of people have been floating around is Ricochet, Keith
You
Lee,
might as well.
and Naomi. Which
Look, that's not bad, and that's not bad if you ask me, because Ricochet at this point needs a heel turn. Sadly,
boy, he need a heel turn so bad.
he. I mean, it's
Ricochet is in his Ricochet right now is like in a Rocky Maivia moment right now where he just needs to just let it
go back.
He needs to just like let it go and just put it out there. But the thing about him though, man, is that he's not a very good promo, and that's part of his problem. And that's the really big problem with WWE is like a lot of times they just freaking like deem you to hell if you can't cut a promo, and he does most of his work in ring. So for him, he would be his like so Ricochet for him his persona, if he were to go heel, would be very, very similar to, say, a Roman Reigns or like a Roman. Since he's a high fly, like a Roman Reigns or a Neville, like when Neville went when he was the king of the cruiserweights. So he needs to have more of a little bit more grounded style, but use those aerial moves to more like to maim and to hurt his opponents, and he can really pull off like a playboy type of like a just dick type heel persona. I think that would fit really good for Ricochet because he's a good looking guy. He could go off of being like a pretty boy prick and just
you know what
and put him. I don't want to say like put him with Paul Heyman, but he needs somebody like a Paul Heyman in his corner to speak for him and just let his actions like just do the work.
See, that's what I was about to get at because if anything, you can have Ricochet, but I look at Ricochet because of what he's able to do, and it's something I don't think anybody ever looked at because this is something that could have been done with John Morrison, and it sounds very weird, but just think about what he's able to fully do. Ricochet, especially being a part of the Hurt Business, how they operate, could have honestly been that person. He has speed, he has agility, he has all this, like pretty much like. He could be literally in the group this silent assassin type of person. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like how Bobby Lashley right now currently had he put a bounty on Drew McIntyre, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Whatever problem that group had, especially depending on who they're feuding with, of course you got somebody like Ricochet who can do anything he can, especially in terms of speed and agility. He can honestly attack them and get them off guard, throw the game off. That's how I would book him. You know what I'm saying? I would book him as that type in the group that'll be that silent assassin that you can't and never will see coming because he's too quick, he's too fast. And you literally will not see that man coming.
Yeah, that would have been a better move than Baron Corbin. I don't hate the thing is I don't hate Baron Corbin. It's the situations they put him in that makes you like, ugh. Really?
He's stale, but he has an awesome finishing move.
He has go away. He has a lot of go away heat when he pops up on screen. Like, get off my screen.
Like seriously, Baron. I really don't know what's up with Baron. I mean, it's bad enough to, nope. I'm not gonna talk about his hair. I'm not gonna talk about his hairline.
Well, you know what? The thing with Baron Corbin is since he has been on the main roster, he's been a heel. The entire time I think he's been on the main roster, like 3 years now? Probably, maybe?
He got on there 2016. That's when he made the night after WrestleMania 32 because he won the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. So he's been on everybody's TV screen on the main roster since 2016.
I think 2021. I think with him, once we get crowds and stuff back, but it has to be in a moment where it has to be against somebody that's worth it. And I think with, like, for example, I don't know did they move him to Raw? I thought he was on SmackDown. But if he is still on SmackDown, I think the best move for Baron Corbin would be, because Roman needs more faces to face on SmackDown. This is just not do my prediction yet, but I feel Roman needs to hold on to the title at 37. And on SmackDown, they need more faces. I feel like a Baron Corbin face turn, him going back to being the lone wolf that just comes in and just hits his finisher and just like leaves. He needs to be that type of face, like the cool face that goes against Roman Reigns. And for him, it's like it needs to be a situation where like a fan favorite is getting beat down by Roman and he comes in and makes a save. And it catches people off because people are going to think that because it's Baron Corbin, he's just coming in to, get some licks in. But then it turns around, he turns face and attacks Roman. And that would be perfect for him to...
See, they've done this before, but the thing that I hate about it is they were never consistent with it. So if they do this, they got to stay consistent. They did something like this with Elias.
Elias,
that was the biggest example.
I don't know what Elias is, dude. I really don't. He didn't spend a lot of time. He didn't spend a lot of time in NXT And then he just got called up for just a. He's like a modern day honky tonk man, but nobody likes him. People actually liked honky tonk because he just reminded that he was just a playoff of Elvis. But Elias, I don't know what he needs he needs to like for me. Elias needs a new gimmick, like bad. The guitar thing, at first I thought when he first showed up, I thought he was like this a homeless dude that played a guitar or something. I didn't know what his gimmick
like
was.
that homeless.
Yeah, that's what I felt like. I'm like, who is this? Like you, he looks like he should. He looks like he would be better suited for like a character that would just be in just like standard like black tights or whatever, and just really like showing off his strength because he looks like his name. He looks like an Eli. He looks like somebody. He's with the beard and he looks like somebody from the Bible. And so his character just looks like he could be like just like this super strong dude that can just just very impressive in the ring. I would probably better believe that over the guitar and this recording artist and all this stuff. Is like, can we do something else with you, please? Like for real.
To be honest with you, with Elias, the whole comparison with the Honky Tonk Man with him, with Honky Tonk was he had a good Intercontinental Championship reign. You know what I'm saying? He had a great Intercontinental Championship reign. So with him, it worked with him with that whole not only Elvis thing, but he had a good championship reign. With Elias, he only held 24/7 title, or did he not? I don't know, but
probably literally it.
It's like you got to get him. He's mid-tier talent with this current gimmick. He just has to be in a great feud, whereas his music can play a good mind game with somebody. You know what I'm saying? He's somebody that can. He's one of those type of wrestlers, if you ask me. He's somebody that's supposed to use something as a mind game with somebody else to throw him off. Of course, music can be something that can be useful, but at the same time, it's not that great of a useful tool, but it still is something. You know what I'm saying? I don't want him to become a Jeff Jarrett.
He's like better built Jeff Jarrett with a guitar.
No, I'm saying, and that's the thing I don't want him to be. I don't want to be another Jeff Jarrett. We have one already. I remember not only just with the WWE. Wait, let me see. Let me check the list again. Wait. Oh no, I can't say that word. The old school WWE back in the '90s when it had another letter in it instead of E. Not that Jeff Jarrett, and definitely not Planet Jeff Jarrett. If anybody knows what I'm talking about with that, you've seen TNA, especially back in the day. But I don't want to become a Jeff Jarrett in that regard. But just try his hardest to use his music as a great mind game to throw somebody off. And he could honestly be a good U.S. or Intercontinental champion if you ask me in that regard.
I really think that's what I honestly really think that's what he's missing. He really needs to get the United States Championship on him because he's on Raw, so United States Championship. He really needs to get the championship on him and like have a really, really good run to show people that he really does have skills in the ring for him to be like legit over. Because I really don't feel he has a lot of wrestling skill as a performer. And so I feel like something for him would be bringing back the United States, like the open challenge type of thing, him being the champion and just like facing people every week. And he gets to show he gets to really showcase himself and show and impress people to get himself over a lot more. Because currently, you being the 24/7 champion ain't doing you no favors at all.
The only person that benefits from this is R-Truth. This is his title. This man has been champion a record break.
It is the same. It is the same. It is literally the same reason why I think Raven had won the hardcore champion like 27 times. It was like something stupid. Like something stupid crazy that he had won it. He had won it. So I mean he's gonna be in kind of that bracket. All right, so let's get into. All right, so this week we had the debut of the new IWGP Championship. We got word that just like some weeks ago that they were going to merge the, I guess the previous IWGP Championship and the Intercontinental Championship into one, and to make a new championship, and they debuted it. And there's been a lot of, people tend to have their favorites of sorts when it comes to championships, or what they feel looks like a championship. WWE gets beat all around with their championships. How the United Kingdom Championship can look like a masterpiece, but then you drop other championships that just
Universal title number, the color change.
Yeah, so that type of thing. So there was a bit of backlash that I saw. I was reading a lot on the internet that day when it did drop. What's your thoughts on it? And I give my thoughts.
Look like a Gundam.
What's it like a Gundam? Because the point.
It look like a Gundam. But
it looks more like the. It looks more. If you're familiar with the championship prior to the last IWGP Championship, the other one was kind of more like a crown. They said it's more of a play off of the original championship.
Because I kid you not, I would want to look at that championship belt. I want them to do, because this is a Japanese promotion, of course, implement as much of the culture into the belt itself to distinguish itself from any other belt. At the same time, that's what it kind of reminds me of. And I'm not hating on it, you know what I'm saying? To me, it reminded me too much, and I don't know. It reminded me so much of Cody's Nightmare logo.
That's what some people said as well. It looked like if Cody makes his own personalized Nightmare Championship,
it looks just like it.
Be just like that. I hope in AEW he doesn't ever do that. Like I hope him, since he has the stipulation where he can't challenge for the championship. I hope when he's able to win the AEW championship, I hope he doesn't do a custom championship, and I hope it's not the Nightmare logo.
I think he gonna do the thing he did. Ring of Honor. He gonna have a ring. Oh no, I forgot. MJF has that ring. Oh, I forgot.
That's true. He does.
He has that ring. I forgot. But yeah. That's what I honestly thought of. I thought of it as, I also thought of this too, the title cards and all the type of stuff, a fight card basically with somebody's name on it. When you see like, such and such versus such and such, that's what I'll be thinking of also when I look at the new belt. And, it's the same, like I said, it, at least in the regards of it, it fits the culture of it. And that's one thing I do want. It's that culture of, all right, this is literally what IWGP is, especially nowadays. And let's be honest here, in terms of every championship belt that's ever been made, no matter what the sport is, of course a new one's gonna get made in the future. We already know that.
At some point.
So
actually also with that, this was actually revealed, I think it's 2 days ago. So you have New Japan Strong, which is the United States, they're basically the US version of New Japan. So they just introduced the New Japan Strong Open weight championship. So it's going to be a belt specific to their US New Japan Strong Style TV show that they have on Roku TV. So they have a championship for that over there as well. You can actually watch those on Roku channel. You don't have to have a Roku to watch them. You can just go to Roku and create an account, and you can watch the past episodes of New Japan Strong if you don't want to sign up for New Japan World, just for those who don't know. But that championship also, New Japan for me. Now, well, let me talk about the championship first before I go to that. I really didn't have too much problem with the championship. My biggest thing was that with some championships, here's what can be the problem with some championships when they're made. They can make the championships too small. So when you put it on a larger champion, it looks like a freaking toy.
Look. You remember?
That's what I was afraid of.
Remember back when what was it? SVR 2008, 2009, the PS2 version. The championship looked like the little toy championships on the action figure.
Yeah, those scales in that game did not work, bro. That's like when the Big Show was the ECW champion. That mother looked like a little like a freaking
Man, look,
ankle bracelet for him.
I was just looking at this stuff. I'm like, bro, this can't be the best y'all can do. Y'all know better than this.
But yeah, man, but I don't have too many. I mean, from what I saw with jumping into the next topic with Will Ospreay now being the new IWGP Championship,
Congrats, Will.
defeating Kota Ibushi. He's also a double champion. He's also the Rev Pro Heavyweight Champion, which is the British strong style wrestling fed in the UK. So he's a double champ, and they do recognize that championship in New Japan. So that's why he wears it when he's in New Japan. So, but yeah, with him being the new world champion in New Japan, and we believe we were talking about this before the show. We believe he is the first British wrestler to hold the IWGP Championship. We could be possibly wrong about that, but we believe. I think, from what I understand, I think he is the first British to actually hold that championship. So, but no, good stuff. I mean, I think it was like, was it last year? Yeah, I think it was like right before COVID, after Wrestle Kingdom. He was saying he was getting ready to bulk up to get ready to go into the heavyweight division, because he had did all he could do in the light heavyweight division. And so he started hitting the gym during COVID and all that stuff. And so he's getting ready to bulk up to get, when things start back up, he's like, I'm going for the heavyweight championship.
And he kept it. He kept his word. I mean, shoot.
Now, who can we see possibly? Who could be the next challenger? Either Kota could come back and, of course, rematch for the championship. That could also be a thing. We haven't seen Okada in a minute going after the championship. Could go after Okada because he is a former member of Chaos. And so part of that was, him actually turning on Chaos to start his own, which is the Empire. So, I mean, that could potentially be a feud for Will Ospreay. Who else, man?
I really want to see a Kenta match.
Oh yeah.
I really want to see a Kenta match with Will, especially now that he's a whole heel now and whatnot. I honestly want to see. There's a whole lot of people. I said this for the show. I really want him to work with, because it's like, now that he's at the top, honestly, you got to get as many good matches in. If you ever a world champion, especially in New Japan, I always look at New Japan as, if this is your home, this is going to be your home. But while it is your home, especially if you're at the top, a lot of great matches can come out of this once you're that champion. You know what I'm saying? That's the mentality I would prefer everybody who holds that title to get. You know what I'm saying? You got to have some great matches now that you got the champion. Like, look at the footprints left by Omega and Okada, for instance. Tanahashi.
And there's not really a lot of high flyers like a Will Ospreay that I can think of that's held the championship. So he has a different style compared to a lot of, I think probably the closest to Will Ospreay's style would probably be Omega. Omega does fly here and there a lot of times.
Yeah, he can fly. Shoot, if Pac can ever, when he rises up,
that would be a very good. So that's a good. I'm glad you mentioned that. So if AEW, if they do end up having like a working relationship with New Japan, then that opens up the door for a lot of potential opponents for Ospreay to really go against. And Pac being one of those people that I can really, really see him, like, them going at it.
Man, that's going to be the best area fight. Look. These folks are going to be jumping off the top rope and trying to recreate Dragon Ball fights in midair. Like, that's how bad I know this fight is going to end up getting to, man. These folks are going to have literally an aerial fight.
If Ricochet never signed with WWE, but we're going to move on.
And that became a triple threat. They would have won. Oh my God, no. Ricochet, Will Ospreay, Pac, and Kenny Omega, Fatal 4-Way for a title.
Yep.
I'm
Yeah,
just
I always imagine like with Bullet Club, man, like if AJ would have never went to WWE, Adam Cole would have never went, uh, Kenny
man.
Omega, if those guys would have stayed in New Japan, like I really always one day pictured like a Bullet Club Civil War with it being all the former, like you could say formerly, because all those guys were like leaders in Bullet Club, and having all those guys go against one another to who to get become the,
Man.
because see, the thing you ever think about is AJ got kicked out of Bullet Club and he never got his revenge on Kenny Omega.
You got a point.
He
Then you
never
got
got his
Finn
revenge on Kenny
Balor.
Omega.
You got Finn Balor, who got kicked out by the Young Bucks.
Yep.
Adam Cole got kicked out by Kenny and the Young Bucks. Mm-hmm. And I ain't gonna lie, that was the most dirtiest thing they did to kick him out.
Oh, Adam Cole literally got kicked out.
This was done, and this is the crazy part. The whole thing was shoot on being the elite of how they went about kicking him out the club. And I was like, man, if I was anybody in that group to have a very big bone to pick with somebody in terms of this, I would have been Adam Cole being so pissed off at how I did it. At least with AJ and Finn, that's something different. Adam, that was just dirty.
I think Adam had more of a because Adam Cole, he would have had more beef with the Bucks and what's the old boy name? British dude. I can't think of the villain. Marty. He would have more issue with Marty Scurll because they were the ones that actually that kicked him out of Bullet Club. So,
it's like man, that would be tough though, man. Because it's like who exactly leader wise? Because it's like how would we exactly would split up a Bullet Club Civil War? You got, of course, like you said, AJ, Finn, Adam Cole, those guys in WWE. But then you got Kenny and the Good Brothers and the Young Bucks. They're over in AEW/Impact. And now you got Bullet Club still in Japan. And it's just like, because I'm not going to lie, I've been waiting for, I don't know, how would you exactly book this match? Like, how would exactly this would honestly go? Because it's like, you got to have these guys in a 3-man team each.
Yeah, but they were kind of teasing that a little bit before AEW even formed because it was already tension at one point between Kenny Omega and Cody, and they just never did that match because they were, AEW was becoming a thing, and I have a feeling if they would have never came with AEW, we would literally got some form of a Bullet Club Civil War. With at least with those two, we would have eventually got, and it would have been in New Japan. It probably been in like ROH. It would probably be bounced between ROH and New Japan, of course, as well. So, speaking of Impact Wrestling, this past week on the episode, we got a AEW reunion. AWM. I said AEW. Man, those letters. Which AMW is America's Most Wanted, which is one of the tag teams from the beginning days
way
of TNA.
back in the day.
Yeah.
Who all can remember AMW versus who was it? Triple X and that steel cage. Which Skipper tightrope walked the cage that hit a hurricane around. I remember watching that as a kid. I'm like, damn, he actually made it. He made it.
Boys in the crowd like, please don't die. Please don't die.
Oh, man, that was some golden years, man. Like, people don't ever sleep on Impact. Don't ever sleep on, go back and watch old school Impact. Like, watch old school TNA.
Oh, man, those early Fox Sports and those early 2005, 2006 days. Oh, bro, that was like the company. I was like, yeah, WB, you might not win this whole thing now because these folks got 6-sided rings, steel cages. They're hitting moves. Like, again, the most legendary match
Daniel, Styles, and Joe won Unbreakable 2005 X Division title.
Yep.
That still was, in my opinion, the best spot of AJ hitting that shooting star press. And it's like, if AJ can just hit it one more time, just one more time onto a table, I would have been like, yeah, he still has it. That's it. He ain't got to do it no more. I just need him to do it one more time because I thought he was going to do it at TLC 2016 with Dean Ambrose, but he ended up doing a Superman splash, and that's fine. But I still wanted that shooting style press. My bad.
Oh
from
yeah.
him. But
He's only hit it maybe. I think he's only hit it maybe once in WWE, if I can remember. I don't know. I can't remember the match though, but I remember seeing him hit at least one time.
Shoot, I'm still waiting to hit the spiral tap.
But yeah, so we got the reunion of America's Most Wanted. I mean, from the sounds of it, because we haven't seen Chris Harris in a hot minute since his Braden Walker run in WWE, which was a complete failure.
We don't speak on that. We don't speak on that. We never speak on that.
And so, I mean, hopefully, I hope that, I know he hasn't been in the ring, at least to my knowledge that he hasn't been in the ring. Hopefully he's in ring shape, and maybe we could get America Most Wanted back in Impact Wrestling. So, I mean, that's all I can say on that part.
That'll light up tag team scene, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Have you been watching ROH, Andy?
I haven't. I have not been watching ROH recently. And I need to get back onto it, by the way. But what has been happening in ROH, man?
19th anniversary was dope. I didn't get a chance. I mean, I kind of saw most of the highlights from 19th anniversary. But New Japan not New Japan, but ROH is slowly turning into. I feel like they're taking like the New Japan formula with all the different factions. You got the Foundation. You got I think they call it LI. They call it LIF, but it's basically the Ungovernables of ROH, basically. With Roosh and his father, Beastia, Kenny King,
I haven't heard Kenny King name.
Yeah, Dragon Lee.
So long.
Yeah. So they're all in one faction together. And you got the Foundation, which is Tracy Williams, my boy Jonathan Gresham, which Jonathan Gresham is Black Daniel Bryan all day. I'm sorry, he's Black Daniel Bryan. Jay Lethal. Who else? I'm missing what you call it. Can't think of old boy's name. But no, that's slowly become. Then there's a group that actually debuted that includes Homicide. It's Brody King, Chris Dickinson, and it's like two other people I don't recognize. So they have another faction that's coming in. You got Shane Taylor Productions, which is you got his group. So it's like a lot of factions, a lot of groups in ROH right now. Because they're still doing shows with, of course, no crowd, but they're doing a lot of gang warfare going on in ROH. I mean, I like it too. Don't get me wrong, I really do. I really do like it. So, but if you're trying to, I think it was this past week's Raw that had like so much comedy on it from what I saw from YouTube video, because I didn't watch it. Had so much comedy on it, and I went to go watch. They had like a pure championship gauntlet going on with a lot of faces I don't recognize, but for being a bunch of names I've never seen before, the gauntlet was really good. It was a great palate cleanser from seeing what I was seeing on social media from WWE Raw. So
that's crazy, man. And that's I'm not gonna get over that. I'm not gonna get over this, man. It's like I said, it's crazy because I was growing up watching this stuff Raw. I was like, man, Raw was the ish.
Yeah.
This is.
They don't have, and the thing is, man, they don't have a crowd to tell them. They don't have a barometer. They don't have the crowd as a barometer to tell them what's good and what sucks. They can really pretty much do whatever the heck they want to, because there's nobody booing or yaying to things that they do, people they push. They just do whatever they feel like. So, and the thing is, until we get crowds back in, it's gonna be like that. It's gonna be like that for a while.
But even when we had it, you still the crowds actually did say something. You know what I'm saying? They actually did vote, and they still didn't care. You know what I'm saying? That's my biggest issue is, don't sit here and tell me you're listening, but you're not listening. You're basically just saying this so I can shut up. So
yeah, JBL even made a statement like recently saying like WWE creative they shouldn't listen to the crowd. Like they
I
shouldn't.
mean,
I'm like what? So it's like
JBL, you better be
JBL shut
sarcastically. You better be saying that out of sarcasm.
like JBL shut up.
Um, 'Cause you've been the biggest issue of bullying since backstage since I don't know how long, but
The Miz.
uh, not even just not the Miz. Oh my God, this man did so much stuff backstage and got away with it. It's like
They like
that
that boy.
time he
They
took
made that boy. They made that boy get dressed outside the locker room. I'm just saying. This is one of the stories.
wrestler's court, man, wrestler court because of chicken of all things. He ate chicken over somebody's bag.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember that.
It was like, oh my God, man. But hey, I can say this: he had a good career. He can say he's a 2-time champion.
Yeah, no, you can't say
Even
that.
though even though, oh my God, the Miz, oh my, and even though it's been a while, I felt bad because I saw this on social media. February 2021, now March or April 2021. The Miz has had an interesting month, man.
Oh yeah, because he went from WWE champion to feud with freaking Bad Bunny,
in which he dressed up as a bunny, and I'm just like, I've been waiting for the dude.
That was on. You know it was
I've been
gonna
waiting
happen.
for this.
You know it was gonna happen. It was going in April. You know it was gonna happen.
Oh my God! It's like, look. All I'm saying is, I was waiting for the Miz to get that title back. Honestly, the hype around that whole time frame of him having that title, I remember this. I was like, oh, snap, the Miz got the title. We're going to get something. And then, of course, Bobby Lashley. Not to say Lashley didn't deserve it himself, but I was like, this man at least hold it to Elimination Chamber or something. Because no matter what many people may want to say, the Miz is a great he's a great talker.
The Miz was literally a transitional champion. He literally became a transitional champion last month. He was it was put on him just to get it onto Bobby Lashley. So
it was like, damn, man. Speaking of Lashley,
so WWE Network though, WWE Network is now gone, and it's on Peacock. And this week, it came out that they are cleaning up the archives to get rid of any type of racial content on WWE's basically library as a whole. They've actually put out a hiring post to hire more people to probably actually do this. I'm pretty sure because they were hiring some people for Peacock actually.
And we got 2 words. It's not down with that. I got 2 words for you, Katie Vick.
Oh no, the one that's gonna get taken, out of the archive, and y'all might want to just like clip it and save it for safekeeping. That skit where DX acts like the nation,
impersonation. Oh my God,
that's out of there. You already know that.
Oh God, that is out.
That's
gone.
Them boys did straight up blackface all day. Everybody in the whole group.
I was like, bruh. I don't know how to go about this because not only is they're doing the whole WWE Network thing now, these people are going to be doing WrestleMania, and I'm just sitting here like.
And I'm only going to get it for Mania and NXT Stand and Deliver, honestly, because I haven't even resubscribed to Peacock yet. I've got an offer to do it for I think it's for $2.50 for the next 4 months or something like that. They sent me like a special deal. So I'm probably gonna do it just for NXT Stand and Deliver and the two nights of WrestleMania, and then I'll decide if I want to steal because they don't have any of the old. None of the old stuff is not going to be on there. They said a lot of the older content that was on the original network won't be over there. Won't be on the actual network until August. So everything that's on there is going to be all pretty much their 365, the autobiography, the Stone Cold sessions, all that stuff is going to be. On that on Peacock. It's gonna be mostly new stuff. None of the old. If you're a fan of the old stuff, then it ain't really worth your time really to even subscribe to Peacock currently for WWE if that's what you're subscribing for. Honestly,
man, that sucks, man. Lord Jesus, I saw a meme of the triple threat main event of WrestleMania 20 with Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and Chris Benoit, but they put Daniel Bryan's face up there. I was like, man, that would be
Is that what that was? I saw that,
that
and
was
I didn't know
a
because
whole meme.
I saw like multiple different like matchup screens, and it was just putting Daniel Bryan in their place. Just like I'm like, what am I
They're gonna
watching?
they are literally. I already have a feeling if they even have any of those archives like that in there, anything on Benoit, it's not gonna be something because I don't even know
And you
how
know
things
what? I'm
are
actually
now.
glad I own that. I'm actually glad I own that WrestleMania. I'm glad I own WrestleMania 20 on DVD for that reason. Because I can always go back to that match and I can have the original, commentary and everything. They don't not have to say his name or none of that. I have all that on. That's one thing I'm glad I do. I'm glad I have that.
I don't have that sadly. I have WrestleMania 31 and 32. Thanks Walmart, by the way. But yeah, I have that. At least I can say that. Hey, at least I can say that Curb Stomp is gonna be on that. That's good. Oh, I'm sorry. I ain't supposed to be saying it. I'm so sorry. Please
Which I
don't
don't understand.
cancel us.
Which I don't understand. I don't understand why.
What are they gonna call his move now? What are they gonna
That's the one
call
thing.
it?
That's the one thing about Seth Rollins' run is his move his finishing maneuver has never got a legit official name. It's been called every single thing under the sun. Honestly, they should have just went with what it was in NXT, which was the blackout. That's what it should have been. They
Now
should have
somebody
just
called it Wikipedia, even though that's not too big of a source, but they called it, I think, at one point, peace of mind. I was like, I don't know how that sounds in a very intense moment.
that for his current, him as being the Messiah, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But like, the blackout when it was called when he was in NXT, that was perfectly fine because at first I remember they wouldn't even let him do it in the beginning because there were people concerned about concussions and all.
Doing it on the damn playgrounds and whatnot.
Yeah, man, ain't nobody finna be curb stopping no kid. I'm sorry, I don't know what y'all thinking about, but no, that's not
Look,
happening.
this ain't like us. This ain't like the generation. It ain't this generation ain't like everybody else. This generation honestly stays in the house and actually would rather it be stimulated on a game than to do it outside anyway.
Yeah,
So to be honest with
nobody's curb
you,
stopping nobody.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So that nobody even power bumming somebody unless you them dudes that be wrestling in Walmart. That's the
that's about it.
story. That's a different story. And big shout out to them, by the way, because they actually, I think months ago, actually was in a indie wrestling event, man.
Oh, really?
So
Huh.
yeah, big up to them, man. I went on their page. They were actually in an indie wrestling event. I'm like, hey, go ahead, man. Y'all getting up there in the world, man.
All right, man. Let's get into the predictions for. We're gonna start with NXT. NXT Takeover Stand and Deliver, which is going to be going down. What is it? Is it Wednesday and Thursday? I think it's Wednesday and Thursday. Let me get my dates wrong.
It got wait.
Yeah, it's Wednesday.
Wait, what's Friday?
Yeah, it's
So
Wednesday.
Friday,
So April
Hall of Fame,
7th.
ain't it?
Yeah, Hall of Fame. Yeah, so Wednesday, April 7th will be on. This is gonna be just on USA, and then the night 2 is gonna be on Peacock, from what I understand. So night 1, let's do the rundown of the matches. I'm gonna start in reverse order. We got Leon Ruff versus Isaiah Swerve Scott versus Bronson Reed, Cameron Grimes, Dexter Lumis, and LA Knight in a gauntlet match for a North American title shot on night 2 against Johnny
I
Gargano.
want Dexter Lumis. I want Dexter Lumis to win. I'm sorry for everybody else. I ain't saying everybody else suck, but I want Dexter Lumis to win this because if you ask me, the storyline with him and Johnny Gargano's group, the way is actually funny. Like the time he kidnapped Austin Theory.
Yes. After he killed Austin Theory, yes. That
How
crap was
smooth
funny.
it was. That was like, all right, this is what main roster needs to be. It needs to be this. I like how smooth this man came in with the chloroform and took him. Hit them both, look back. Like, hey, where'd he go? And y'all I go find. I gotta go wrestle.
And see, that's the thing about NXT,
Yeah.
man. See, they have comedy and they do comedy, but it's in a very tasteful way where it's not insulting to you as a
It's
wrestling fan.
it's not
And
cringy.
yeah, it's not cringy, so it's kind of like, oh, that was funny. So that's the type of stuff like that. So okay, so you say you want Dexter Loomis to win. I'm in the side.
Hmm.
It's either gonna be Bronson is getting kind of a push because he did beat LA Knight, and being that it's against Johnny Gargano, it has. I'm thinking it would more likely have to be like a face that's gonna win it. It's gonna be
Hmm.
probably Dexter Loomis. Grimes is sort of kind of a face a little bit with his money gimmick he got going on since he came back. So it might be
Hmm.
either him or Bronson Reed. It's gonna be. I think those are gonna be the three out of those three that I think is probably gonna take it. So next match we got the NXT Tag Team Champions, the vacated Tag Team Championships is gonna be MSK versus Grizzled Young Veterans versus Legado del Fantasma. I'm going with the Grizzled Young Vets because they've lost the Dusty Rhodes Classic 2 years in a row, and it's time for them to get tag team champions.
All right, so you got three TNA guys here. Because one of them I know was Zema Ion.
Yeah.
That's which one? That was wait. Oh, that was Joaquin. That's Zema Ion.
Yeah.
And then of course you have the other two who just left Impact recently,
The
being
Rascals.
MSK.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, damn, I wish the third. I wish Trey would have came along, but it's all right. It's all right. It's cool. It's cool. But I love their performance in the Dusty Class. I saw clips of it.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's like, all right, yeah, maybe because I'm a sucker for high flyers, but it's like I really want to see what Legado del Fantasma is gonna do. I really want to see what they're gonna do. Definitely. So it's like I
I mean,
guess I'm gonna go with
they
MSK.
could go for it. I mean, they could, and so it could be a thing where if they wanted to push Delgado Fantasma, the group itself, as far as if they want to start pushing them after Stand and Deliver, if they were to win the tag team championships, then it's a possibility that Phantasma could win the unified cruiserweight championship. That could be a thing. Or
Yeah, they would have held out of gold.
I really feel that he should get out of the cruiserweight division and go for the NXT championship. Really, I think that's what should be the next one. I think Jordan Devlin should be the one to win that. But we got NXT UK Championship: Walter versus Tommaso Ciampa.
I better get every bit of chops out of this whole match. And I
Boy, this
mean,
is
I
going to
need.
be a very brutal match.
Because I hadn't seen NXT in so long. I see Champa. Champa got some hair. I'm like, oh, Lord, he got hair.
Boy, they've been talking about him so bad. Like
that means he got to be more serious now. He got to be more crazy and unhinged.
them boys said Ed look younger than him. I'm like, y'all wrong.
Oh, but Walter, I better get every great chop out of this match, even though I know you're gonna deliver with him. That was hands down probably the best chopper in the whole business is Walter.
So here's
you
the curve.
can't beat this man chop.
So here's the curveball with this match. His former tag team partner, or I should say current tag team partner, Timothy Thatcher. I know that could they probably end up expanding Imperium? Because in Progress, Imperium, or no, they call something else. They would call something else, I think, in Progress. But the stable that Walter had Timothy Thatcher and what's the old boy's name? He's in the group now with Fabian Eichner. I can't think of the other guy's name. Name is escaping me right now. But yeah, Timothy Thatcher was part of the stable with Walter that's basically like Imperium in Progress. So they are, could be possibly friendly with one another. I feel like Timothy Thatcher.
Crap.
I feel like Tim Thatcher's going to turn on him and join Imperium.
He more than likely is. I have a feeling, especially how Timothy is. So, oh man,
I have a feeling that's what's going to happen. I really do. And now, I know the way is still a heel group. It would just end up being a thing where I would just be like, okay, let's time for a DIY
DIY.
reunion to reunion to
It's gonna
whoop
be
some.
hard because shoot, if my thing is if like we predicted earlier, we said either between Dexter Loomis or Kevin Grimes and whatnot, or Bronson Reed, it's like if Dexter wins that, you know what I'm saying? I feel more like he has unfinished stuff with, even if he were to have won that thing, he's still gonna have something to do with Johnny and whatnot. And then you got
Mm-hmm.
Indy and that whole group who has a crush on Dexter.
Mm-hmm.
But in a sense, it's gonna be hard to actually have. I don't know how that's gonna go with Champa and Johnny now. How Johnny is, Johnny, he's a very comedic heel.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Tommaso is still crazy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's gonna be one hell of a thing for them to be trying to go up against Timothy and Dexter. You know what I'm saying?
Or they
If
could,
they're
or they could bring in. I don't know. I mean, I know like Tyler Bate and Trent Seven are doing their thing over in NXT UK. They could come over and help Tommaso Ciampa to lend a helping hand because they have had their problems with Imperium in the past. In the beginning when Imperium first showed up in NXT UK, Imperium literally they basically destroyed British Strong Style. So that could also be a thing. Ciampa could have some help in that way. So we'll see. But I have a feeling that Thatcher's probably gonna turn on Ciampa. Main event for night one is going to be Io Shirai versus Raquel Gonzalez. Io has currently 300-day NXT Women's Championship reign so far. I think Rachel Gonzalez, after her matches with what's her name? Man, my name
Rhea.
with Rhea. I think that no holds bar match or whatever it was, a street fight that they had, she really proved herself, and so I really think that she's probably going to be the one that's probably going to
take it off.
probably going to dethrone Io. I just hope Io. Honestly, I really just feel Io. I hope Io is one of those talents for NXT because we have the NXT lifers like a Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, and what seems to be the Undisputed Era are NXT permanents. I hope for the females, Io ends up being the permanent female that's in because their main roster don't need no women, don't need no more women because they don't do right by the ones that they have, so they don't need Io.
Exactly.
They don't need Io right now at all. Io should stay.
They already took.
Go ahead.
They took Rhea, man. They took Rhea from us.
Yeah. So they're not doing right by the ones they have. So I don't feel like she shouldn't. I don't feel like she should go anywhere. So, all right, night two, Santos Escobar versus Jordan Devlin in a ladder match is a unification for the Cruiserweight Championship.
Jordan got it. I gotta give it to Jordan.
I think it should be Jordan Devlin. Okay. Here's what I want to happen after Mania, because I know some people have been wanting like, so if Finn loses, will he go back to the main roster? I think Finn is probably more likely maybe end up being an NXT, like a permanent NXT person. I feel it's kind of how I'm feeling right now. I need after this, because Jordan Devlin is in main NXT, I need Finn to start to build Balor Club after this. I need him to start feeling that,
And who better than his own student? Who better than his own student? Keep in mind, Finn trained Devlin.
Let him be the first member in the Balor Club and start to slowly build Balor Club, because the Undisputed Era is gone. So you need another group, because if he loses the NXT Championship to Karrion Kross, he's coming after Walter. That was the match we were supposed to get before COVID. In NXT, the one that was supposed to be in Ireland in March, that was the match we were building up to last year.
Oh man, I can imagine if that was the case. The war, all they need just two more people. If that match, and if it was a War Games match, Jesus,
yes,
that would be the freaking. They just need two more people to battle Imperium.
They can get Killian, because they've been slowly. I know when you've been watching NXT, like this is probably maybe some months ago when they were feuding with not Karrion Kross, but Killian Dane and Drake Maverick, they had some Pure had some conversations with Killian Dane. And so, I mean, Killian could join Balor Club as the heavy for Balor Club. So that could be a person he could recruit. Just saying. All right. NXT Women's Tag Team Championship, Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon versus The Way. This is hard to say because Shotzi and Ember just got the championships. Can't really. This is what they're probably really their first or second defense, I think. So,
I was gonna say, man, it's like how they, I guess, build it, especially with the whole. They were congratulated after winning the titles, and you got The Way, you got Candice and Indy looking and saying that should have been me, that should have been me.
Mm-hmm.
I have the strangest feeling they're gonna sit here and pluck it, but that would be the worst thing to do considering they just got them belts and it's not a long reign. Yeah. I don't want it to be a hot potato thing like I think what happened when they first introduced tag titles on the main roster.
Right.
It's like you don't need a hot potato thing with it, you know what I'm saying? But if anything, I feel like The Way it's gonna end up splitting very soon because again, you got Austin Theory, how he goes about doing things. Indy, of course, is doing things how she wants to, and it's like they're gonna end up probably splitting a lot sooner, especially if Gargano loses that North American title and they don't win their match.
Yeah,
they're gonna start blaming people, and they're gonna break up.
Yeah, so I feel like that's a good point. So I would say, I'm thinking I'll say Shotzi and Ember because that is very true. When the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship became a thing, it was being bounced around quite a bit. NXT tends to want to have more of a longevity. They already hot shotted the titles the first night it was introduced, so I don't feel they're gonna want to have a bunch of short reigns on the very beginning of the championship. So yeah, I'll go ahead and say Shotzi and Ember. Yeah. We kind of already gave our prediction of who we think may face Johnny, so that's the next match that will be after that. Then we have Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly in an unsanctioned match.
Dude, I'm sorry. I didn't see the full clip. Well, the fact that he bumped up in the jiu-jitsu training center, I said, Kyle, you son of a bitch. I'm like, this is what I need. And these are the people that I need it done with. I love Adam Cole and I love Kyle O'Reilly. I love both of these gentlemen. I love everybody in NXT, honestly. And it's how they did this. They did it with security camera footage. And it's like, could you imagine you going in to sign up for a class and you see Adam Cole bumping there like, Kyle, you son of a bitch.
It's like, oh, snap.
It's like, damn, I just came for classes, dog. Hey, come on. Who is that? He ain't even dressed. He ain't got his gi on. It's like, man, I never, even though I know it's going to come to it, and I did want Undisputed Era to break up, but at the same time, it was coming in a way. And on top of that, they captured every bit of gold that was there at the time at one time. North American champion, tag team champion, and NXT champion. At once, they had nothing but straight gold. And, it's like, all right, yeah, of course they weren't going to break up. They literally didn't accomplish everything. Now, I would have wanted them to go on the main roster, but then you got to keep in mind, and I had to think about this, this is a 4-man group. Now, if anything, of course, if the Hurt Business didn't get, broken up, then we may have had something along that line. That would have been epic.
Perfect. That would have been perfect.
That would have been epic.
But we know they wouldn't have done right by the group, probably bringing them in. And I think that could be a possibility why they broke it up, because possibly they may be trying to call up Adam Cole. So the plan is just like, let's just disband the group, because I think they just know they're not going to do right by them to begin with. So if that is the case, because I mean, there's nothing really else. I mean, honestly, there's not really a lot more for Adam Cole to really do in NXT.
Man,
unless I really feel NXT needs to go to the format of, if the big wigs of WWE would allow some of those guys to come. I say come up to NXT, because coming down to the main roster is a downgrade. But
it's to be honest with
I
you,
really feel that they should have some of those guys that are not doing anything, sitting in
go to
catering,
NXT.
go down to
Go to NXT.
NXT for some fresh
Look what
matchups.
look at Andrade. That was a NXT champion, and he literally admitted he was just sitting in catering, and
I
that's
think he
a top tier talent.
and I think he asked. I think him and Alistair have both asked to go back down to NXT. They
They have.
won't.
They both did.
They denied them. I'm like, you're not doing anything with them. So what is the problem?
Like, let them go ahead and go, man. Because I'm like this. They had better matches and better storyline. Like when Aleister Black came back after being attacked weeks ago, being taken off for injury, he came back kicking everybody's head off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you can't, you can only get that down there. You got this man on this roster. You had him, of course, with the undefeated streak. Somebody knocking at my door. I need some competition. I'm not gonna lie. That actually, to me, it was fine until.
And then he got his eye poked out and became Solid Snake.
And I'm just like, this man had a great feud with Seth Rollins, but you pretty much made him had him play second fiddle to Rey Mysterio. Yes. And I'm just like, bruh, this is a top tier talent, a real life martial artist who can use his feet well.
Right.
And I'm just like, but then again, I just realized something. Alistair can't do his thigh slapping motion for his finisher, the blackout.
Ooh, that is a very good point. Oh my goodness.
It's no good for it now because that's what sold the move was the thigh slap. But now it's like, okay.
Well, he can go to the submission, which is like the dragon sleeper. Honestly, I can
that's
see
fine.
that.
That would be fine. So but in terms of Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly, man, I don't know because I want both men to win. Adam has a lot. It's like it seems more like Kyle because of the whole thing, especially how Kyle came back and beat up on Adam. You know what I'm saying?
And Kyle has lost both of his takeover matches against Finn Balor, so he kind of needs it.
And it's like, all right. But my question, it's like, you got Roderick Strong in the mix too, man. And it's like, I don't know. You still have Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong. You got those two guys out there.
Fish ain't been on TV in a minute. He might be injured.
Yeah, he might be injured again. But you still got Strong. And it's like, we still got this guy. And where do I go with this guy here? You know what I'm saying? But then again, Adam did blow him, but then, you can't just take that as face value because even people who seems to, they got turned on, they can easily turn on the other person and join the person that did that to them. You know what I'm saying? If that doesn't what I would have liked to see?
You know what I would have liked to see with this? I would have loved for it to have been like a split down the middle, like Undisputed Era being split into two. Us getting Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly for like a good run, a good couple months as their old tag team Future Shock for a hot little minute, just for a little bit, and then they break up and descend. And I wish we could have got some of that version of the team.
Now keep in mind, the thing I do like about it is this is just like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. AJ Styles here.
They have that type of relationship. Yeah,
it transcended beyond WWE. Of course, Adam Cole was in Bullet Club at Wrestle Kingdom in 2017. I don't know which one that was. He beat Kyle O'Reilly for the RH title on the card. So, you know what I'm saying? I think that's why I felt like Kyle could probably win because he still got a lot of grudges from back in the day with Adam.
Yeah.
To actually get back at him, man. He still got to get his ass back for that world title in New Japan. So I feel like Kyle is going to more likely take it at that regard because of all the history. He got a lot of things he can honestly use in an unsanctioned match. Now, I guess my question now is, would this actually top Ciampa and Gargano's unsanctioned match? I wonder if that's going to be the thing.
Oh, boy. Hey, it's going to probably be up there. I'm pretty sure it's going to be up there. I think it's going to be up there. I mean, the turn is, it's going to be up there. It's going to be up there. All right. Main event for night 2, Finn Balor versus Karrion Kross. Finn has been a champ for a minute. I cannot really not see Karrion Kross because he's been booked very strongly. If Karrion Kross loses, I'm telling you this right now, he's going to the main roster.
Oh my God!
They want him. They've seen him. They like him. That is their type of performer that they like on the main roster. He can talk, and they see Scarlett as well. That's what they like.
I don't need this to be another Keith Lee. You know what I'm saying? Keith Lee.
I don't think they can mess up Karrion Kross. I think with Keith Lee, I know him being a bigger dude. I think that because Vince McMahon can be a hit or miss when it comes to physiques. Sometimes he doesn't care, and sometimes he's like, "Oh, you need to lose some weight," because Kevin Owens went through that same thing.
And that sucked.
Yeah, so you know, it's always a hit. Sometimes it's like, oh, he's a good performer, he can talk and this, but Karrion Kross is a built dude. He's tall. He's, you know, he can talk like nobody's business. So
I guess my biggest thing, like I said, it's the main thing we've been talking about throughout this whole thing is you get called up to that main roster. You know, you're not guaranteed a huge success story like everybody knows. Honestly, like and everybody else know you can have. Mm-hmm. And my thing with Karrion Kross is he didn't fully enjoy his first reign because of injury. Right. You know what I'm saying? And that's my biggest thing is why I feel like Finn's gonna lose, Karrion's gonna win. I feel like they gotta make up time for that. You know what I'm saying? And like you said before, Finn. He's been champion, and on top of that, Finn was the guy to win the championship that Karrion never truly lost.
Right.
So you have that storyline going in there, and I feel like Karrion, the type of person that he is, you know, this man's a killer. He's honestly, he has that about him, and that's his selling point. He's a killer, and on top of that, he's an unhinged type of person. Mm-hmm. So
it's like who would and here's the thing to think about long term. If we're thinking long term booking. Who would be the person to dethrone Karrion Kross? Would it be Parker Boudreaux? The Brock Lesnar Jr.?
You know who I think?
Because he's coming up to NXT at some point.
I'm going to give it, I honestly think because of the mind games that can easily be played here. Dexter Lumis. It sounds like I'm standing him, but just think about it. You got these two guys. You got one who's a silent type of killer. You got Karrion, who's a crazed type of killer. And the mind games that can easily be played, I'm not gonna lie.
I could definitely see a program between the two, though, for sure. I can definitely see a program between them, for sure. Because just like I said, who like Loomis is, man, I can definitely see a program between those two, and like you said, playing the mind games and stuff like that. But yeah, the thing is with Kross, like who would? Because like I said, with Kross can win it. Finn will be okay if he does lose it. I feel like it would just be okay. Walter retains, go to Walter, and Finn is the one that actually dethrones Walter finally of his 500 plus day reign as NXT UK champion. So. And I think that would just at that point, your Finn will be able to go over to the UK for a while. That'll also give NXT UK some more eyes on that because some people can be very lukewarm on NXT UK. People want to watch because Finn is over there. That'll be kind of a good little boost they would need. And actually kind of trade talent over and actually put Walter on regular NXT and have Imperial run roughshod and have Walter run roughshod on regular NXT and kind of like trade the talents off a little bit and get Walter some US exposure a little bit more, and he can go back to NXT UK like later on in the year or whatever. But I think that would be a very good idea. All right, so let's get over to WrestleMania 37. What is this, night 1, which is Saturday night. First match was going to be the match that I don't give a crap about. Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon in a steel cage match.
We all know what's going to happen. This heel Shane, so of course this might not happen. But every WrestleMania, the thing is Shane has to do a stunt. He has to do a bump, and he has to do a sandwich. Mm-hmm. He got to do something, but it's like I'm with you on it. I'm sorry. I love Braun, but Jesus,
He's gonna jump off the
this
cage. I mean, it's
feud.
gonna be it.
Now hold on. Now I'm not gonna lie though. Now if Braun do something though, if Braun, because keep in mind, despite how big Braun is, the man is actually athletic. The man was able to do a kip up in the ring when he went against Big Show in that match, and I was like, huh, wait a minute. All right, if you can surprise me, that's the only thing. Braun got to really surprise somebody with what he can do. Something that may like, oh, hold on, I ain't know he could do that. He's too big for that. He ain't supposed to be doing that. But if he can do something like that and outdo Shane in a spot, it'll actually make it a little bit more interesting. He has to do a spot in which it will
I
outdo
would
what Shane can
be.
do.
I would be more interested in this match if it was Braun Strowman when he first left the Wyatt family. Because when
Oh,
he
you
first
talking
left,
about the ponytail Braun?
when he left the Wyatt family and he broke out on his own, that was the first of all, that was the time to. He should have beat Brock Lesnar that first encounter they had. He should have been the one to be, because they put him against Brock Lesnar, I think maybe 2 or 3 times. I think one was like a
No
triple
Mercy
threat,
2017.
triple threat match, and he lost to him. And he's like, you deflated him, you killed his
You making him
momentum,
soft. You
and
making him
then
soft.
right, and then you brought him in just to beat Goldberg last year. It didn't really matter at that point. They think they did him a favor by having him beat Goldberg last year. It did him zero
No,
favor
you
because
only you did that.
he should have beat Brock. Brock was the beast to beat.
And
Goldberg,
it's
you can get lucky and beat
he's a
Goldberg
part
at this
timer.
point. Yes, you can get
Joe
lucky and beat
Goldberg
him.
match is gonna be at least 2 to 3 minutes, 5
Yeah,
at best.
yeah,
You're not getting anything with that. With Brock, I mean, you got to look at the time when Brock actually punched Braun.
yeah.
Man, I'm just like, man, No Mercy 2017. He had him to himself. He had no restrictions, none of that. I mean, you had Brock F5 and this man carelessly.
Yeah.
He didn't care. It was one of those. I just throw you over the top rope. F5 him outside the ring in Saudi Arabia, and that's when you kind of figure like, hey, Braun, you done for,
Yeah,
dog.
if they
I
wanted
hate.
him, if they wanted him to be something for us to really care about him, if Shane McMahon went against Braun Strowman back then when he was a force to be reckoned with, I'd be like, oh man. The only thing I feel is gonna happen in this match, either A, Shane McMahon's gonna jump off the cage, or B, Braun Strowman is going to freaking steamroll the crap out of Shane McMahon and knock him through the cage, and he's gonna win, just really sheerly based off the fact that he
That's
puts him through the cage.
that's the only thing. But yeah, pull a JBL actually. You know, remember
Mm-hmm.
JBL and
Or he gonna hit the
yeah,
Bobby
he
Lashley
crawled.
on Umaga where he just freaking just breaks
Mm.
the cage wall down.
And it's like, how many more moments of those do we really need, man? Because those ain't really like what the hell type of moments. We need something
Yeah,
new.
yeah.
What's another match for night 1 for WrestleMania?
We got Raw Tag Team Championships, New Day versus AJ Styles and Omos. Here's where I feel so. This match exists for one reason: to make AJ Styles a Grand Slam champion. What I would do is do a switcheroo at WrestleMania. Get Omos out because he's a big dude and you know he can't move worth a doggone, and he probably ain't conditioned as
He's
well
green.
because most big guys ain't conditioned that well to do matches. AJ's gonna pretty much run the whole match. Do a bait and switch and put Joe in.
That's right, Joe.
Put Joe
You
in.
know, that's the thing.
Joe has not had a WrestleMania match, and for him to win the Raw Tag Team Champions with his real life homeboy, and also for AJ to be the Grand Slam champion with his boy, that would be better.
Oh, so this is like, all right. So this is like when Cody pulled that switch in Night of Champions 2008 when Ted DiBiase Jr. first came out, and they were going against Hardcore and Cody, and Ted revealed Cody was his partner, and they won the titles then. So with Joe, what would have been awesome was he's a commentator now, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you can't see what Joe's wearing. You can't see his wrist and whatnot taped up. And, you thinking Joe is just wearing, regular stuff. Then next thing it's like you said, oh, you think Almost is in the match. Oh, that's funny, man. I'm glad you think that. and you just see Joe come up behind, hitting the coquina clutch, and then it's like, that would be so freaking awesome. Now it's two birds in one stone. Joe has to win a world title now, and AJ finally is a Grand Slam champion.
Joe gets his WrestleMania moment because Joe has yet to be at a WrestleMania. Has yet to have, as long as he's been there, he's always been injured every time Mania comes around.
No. He actually has been in WrestleMania. He fought Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania 35
for a whole 50 seconds, probably.
And that's what I hated, because Mysterio comes out with the whole Joker 2019.
Oh yeah, he was. I think Ray was injured, Mysterio, which is why the match was so short. I think Ray was injured. I think is what.
And it was like this is the only time you see Samoa Joe there, and he's the U.S. champion at the time, and I'm like, damn man, don't do this to Joe. Joe is somebody you don't do this shit to, but you do it anyway. But
all right, Cesaro versus Seth Rollins. This is Cesaro's first single match at WrestleMania. First single match at WrestleMania, and he's been in WWE for almost 11 or 10 or 11 years now.
Oh my God!
Cesaro needs to win this.
I was saying this, so I was all right. Don't be grossed out. I was thinking about this when I was using the bathroom earlier before we even got on. I was just like, oh my God, what type of feud do Cesaro need right now? Because it's just, believe it or not, despite what anybody may want to think, Cesaro is a man of many trades when it comes to wrestling. He can be a technical wrestler. He can be a high flyer if he wants to. He can be a powerhouse. We all know he's a powerhouse. He's a strength-driven person. And it's just, you have someone like Seth Rollins. His current role is that of a slimy heel, but I will give Seth Rollins this. He has the best suits in the game right now. I don't care what anybody says. This joke man here has the best suits ever.
This man's suit game is on hella fleek.
Every time I see this man now, what type of suit this man got on today? He got a leather suit with no socks on. No socks. He cannot be touched. And then look what he did with his hair. He straightened his hair out. He got the beard all trimmed up. This man ain't letting being a dad stop him from his drip. This man is the drip. And look, you know what would be crazy if he came out in the suit, and then you remember Cesaro used to come out with the little breakaway suit. I mean, oh my God, this is going to be, in my opinion, a match in which I feel like Seth is going to counter the swing. Seth is going to counter that swing, and I don't know how he's going to do it, but he's going to counter that swing. Seth is going to be that person in the match that either going to take a great bump or going to do something to cause a great bump. Mm-hmm. I just feel like they're going to be able to give us a great, if not technical match, a match that makes me say, man, Cesaro, you got some strength, or Seth, you can fly, you got great tactics, you have great ring psychology, same with Cesaro, great ring psychology, but the biggest strength is, like I said, Seth is very athletic, Cesaro is very athletic, but we know Cesaro's strong point is his strength. Mm-hmm. Seth's strong point is the fact that he thinks. So, not to call Cesaro dumb, but something has to give with that. And it's hard for me to give the victory because it's like, I don't know what Cesaro is going to be doing after this. It's like,
Cesaro if Cesaro wins, the push needs to start for him to go after Reigns. Again, I go back to the thing. Reigns
needs faces.
Yes, he needs faces, but I don't feel Reigns is going to lose against Daniel Bryan and Edge. I think the end game for Roman Reigns is Big E. That is the end game for Roman. I think that needs to be to elevate Big E to a world championship caliber contender. It needs to be him to dethrone Reigns. Nobody else. It needs to be Big E.
What about a plot twist? What about, because keep in mind, what comes up after WrestleMania now? What comes up after WrestleMania?
Payback? Oh, SummerSlam.
No.
What comes after?
You're forgetting something important that comes after WrestleMania that shouldn't be a joke now. No, it's a match.
Extreme Rules?
No.
Money in the Bank?
Money in the Bank. Think about it.
Yeah.
If Cesaro wins, and if he wins Money in the Bank, that could be a great plot twist for him. Now, I'm not saying the Big E storyline wouldn't happen because, again, I feel it too. Big E's gonna have to face Roman at some point for that title.
So
But
here's what
that
I'm
could be
thinking. Here's what I'm thinking about the long. So here's the whole thing. What I'm thinking about the long term storytelling with Big E is that I don't know if you watched when they brought back Talking Smack. Paul Heyman was the one that cranked up Apollo Crews to be who he is now. There was a segment with him in the dressing room talking to Roman Reigns, and you noticed that Big E's been feuding with Apollo Crews for quite some time. The storyline twist could literally be that Roman has been using Apollo to keep him busy so he doesn't go for Roman.
Oh my God. Early seeds that are planted, and there you go.
Yeah, because he's been feuding with Apollo for a long time, and it could be purely because Paul Heyman winded him up on Talking Smack. Reigns, remember that it was a segment with him talking to Reigns in his dressing room. They could potentially, the story could be that he's been literally keeping him busy so Big E does not have a chance to go after Roman. I feel like that's kind of like the story they're telling. That's why I feel like Big E should be the one. Like SummerSlam, I feel like at SummerSlam would be a good time for Reigns to drop the Universal Championship. Because it'll literally be almost like a whole year he's held it. And for Big E, it would be a good rise for him. I feel like he's going to lose the Intercontinental Championship to Apollo. Apollo can't lose with having a new gimmick. It doesn't make sense to have Apollo lose after having a persona change, because if you lose, then it's like, what was the point of having this whole Nigerian King persona to lose at WrestleMania? So he has to win, and Big E has to lose the Intercontinental Championship to go on to something else to work his way to the Universal Championship. So
pretty much like old school, basically use the Intercontinental Championship to get your way up. You know what I'm saying? So I get you on that. So yeah, so I think. So dang, we basically, I guess, saw our predictions, I guess, for Big E versus Apollo, because what night were they? They were night 2, wasn't it?
I think they're night 2. Let's see.
Yeah,
We got next. We got Bad Bunny versus The Miz. They might well make this. Bro, they might well make this for the 24/7 championship. I'm just saying, they might well make this for the 24/7 championship. Let's go ahead and do it.
That's went about it. That's how you went about doing it. But you know what disappointed me more than just this match alone? I hate what they did with John Morrison. I'm actually not pleased with it.
What they've done with John Morrison in general is a shame. He is easily could be a potential contender. Again, going back to Roman again. Roman needs faces. John Morrison could easily be an opponent for the Universal Championship. He should not be tied up with Miz in stupid shenanigans every single week. He shouldn't be. There's somebody else on the roster that ain't doing anything, that has nothing to lose, that probably deserves the rub to be side by side with the Miz and do this stupid crap that he does every single week.
I kid you not, dude. This was literally what I thought this year's WrestleMania was going to be if the Miz won the title. John was going to be jealous at the fact that Miz has, again, while John is under contract with the same company as the Miz, won the world title before him. And I'm just sitting here like, okay, John, you have great revenge storyline going on here. You can attack the Miz and take the title off the Miz at WrestleMania. That's what I was thinking when he won the title in February. And like I said, with John has been a world champion outside of WWE, and he's proven he's a good champion.
Yeah, the money is with that particular feud is that back in the day when Miz turned on Morrison and Morrison was the face, it was one thing, but I feel that with this, I feel the Miz would need to. Well, I don't know. I mean, because Miz is such a good heel, it may have to be the same way again, maybe possibly.
It has to be, because to be honest with you, heel Miz has the best mic skills.
Yeah.
Compared to him as a face.
Because
And honestly,
at Mania, what, about 2 years ago when he went against Shane, Shane kind of killed Miz's face push. He was getting over too, but Shane McMahon just like killed his shine, sucked the life out of his entire face turn. It just,
I don't know. I think Mrs. Dad
yeah,
took that whole thing, that meme.
that's facts right there.
Oh
That's facts right there.
man.
Let's
Next
see.
match
Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
needs to be the main event. If I'm sorry, no offense about Lashley and Drew, let it be the main event.
True. But here's the thing about this feud that's kind of upsets me is them having this freaking whatever the hell this black dude is. This what is it?
Reginald?
Reginald, with Reginald being all into this, it just doesn't make sense for him. Him being in there for so long really makes zero sense to me. Here's what would have made sense in storyline telling. Bianca Belair wins the Royal Rumble, right? They have this. Reginald is still, hanging around. But in hindsight, the back storyline could have been Carmella wanted to get another chance at Sasha Banks, but she has to go through Bianca. Bianca goes against her at Fastlane, disposes Carmella again, and then it's just between her and Sasha Banks. That's how it should have been. It shouldn't have been a tag team match 2 times in 2 different shows with her and Sasha teaming up twice. They should have held that in the back pocket for later on down the road for them to be a real tag team called the Bossiest, which is what their tag team name should be later on down the road. That's what they should have done and got Reginald out of the picture. Reginald being involved with this, it's making the feud just so lackluster, and it can be so much better than what it is.
I mean, to be honest with you, I'm looking at the feud such as, okay, this is a one-upsman with these two. And that was a good thing. You know what I'm saying? That actually is anything. If you don't have anything else for any type of feud, the whole one-upsman type thing, that works. Because you're showing exactly the strong and the weakness of each person in that feud.
Right.
And that would have been perfect with Sasha and Bianca. It's like, all right, Bianca's the upstart and the rookie of all this, but a great rookie at best. And it shows, you know what I'm saying? She may still have a weakness in this being somebody still new to main roster life, but at the same time, it also shows that she can honestly still back up what she does.
Right.
Sasha, this is a champion who has a lot. She has a chip on her shoulder when you look at it, because look at her past WrestleMania appearances. Yeah. She was in the Andre the Giant
in a very short title reigns.
Exactly. She has a chip on her shoulder now. She's held that title ever since Hell in a Cell 2020 last year. And now, don't get me wrong, she had a great match in her first WrestleMania match with the triple threat with her, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte. She didn't win. All right. The next year, 32. What was she doing? She was in a Raw Fatal 4-Way.
Was she? Yeah, I was say she's in tag team match, but no, that was after that.
That was she was in a Fatal 4-Way in 32. 33, she was in not 33, 34. She was in the women's battle royal. 35, of course, tag team match, the very infamous tag team match. And now, 36, she was in no. She wasn't a tag team champion then. I think she was trying to help Bailey, I believe, because Bailey had a title shot.
Yeah, that was something like
that. Yeah. If not, fans out there, correct us if we're wrong. But yeah, now she's the champ. She's finally the champ going into WrestleMania, and on top of that, she's going up against someone like Bianca, who, in my opinion, I love what we have going on here, because this will be the first time in WrestleMania history that 2 black girls are going to actually be wrestling for a world title. That's pretty awesome, if you ask me. Yeah. And I would love, like I said, the special thing about this match is, again, this is just showing the weakness and the strongness of both people in the match. Mm-hmm. And now it's like, all right, we know exactly. It's like a live action teletape. And now going into the match, what I'm focusing on is who's going to have the upper hand now, and what are you going to use with, what you got? What are you going to use? How can you use it, and when are you going to use it? Because are we going to see Bianca use that hair? Are we going to see Sasha use her experience? Are we going to see Bianca use her strength and her athleticism? Because Bianca is a powerhouse and an athletic chick all in one. Sasha is a great submission artist, and on top of that, Sasha has again experience.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to this match, but it has to be the main event if you ask me. That's my thing. It
Yeah,
has to be.
no, I feel that too. I feel like one should be the main event for night one. Um, I think Bianca should win. I think Bianca should win. Just
Mm-hmm.
purely because she's had multiple championship opportunities back in NXT, going for the women's championship, and she needs to finally get. It's time for her to finally get one. So I feel like she should be the one to win it and take it. Just to
Mm-hmm.
have that moment because she did win the women's Royal Rumble. So, okay, main event for night one: Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre. This is a hard one because on one side of it, Drew never really got his WrestleMania moment.
Rematch.
He never got his he never got his rematch, but he never got his WrestleMania moment with people. And this is going to be the first Mania since the COVID era that
To
we
have this.
have people in the ring. But I know as of currently as it stands right now, on the internet, some people feel a particular way about Drew McIntyre versus what they felt last year about him when he finally did capture the championship from Brock Lesnar versus how he feels now. People are kind of more liking Bobby Lashley, even though he is the heel in the situation. People are liking him more because it's just he deserves it
Like
because Lashley has put
it's
in work.
been it's mainly you know what I felt like this Mania. Like I said, this is another match. I think I said before that should have been. I feel like this match wasn't supposed to have been the thing, but of course the dream match I would have wanted, and I think everybody still wants. And I think you commented on it by the way recently on our NerdFlow show. Um, we wanted Bobby to win. Don't get me wrong, we wanted him to win, and on top of that, of course, you want Drew to have won that world title on a stage with people. But
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion, Drew should have had a great feud that would have been in a great hard hitting match with Sheamus at WrestleMania because I feel like that would have been great for Drew
That's
at this
yeah,
point in time.
yeah. That street fight that he had at what was it, Fastlane? Yeah, Fastlane. That he had at
Mm-hmm.
Fastlane. They should have just because they were going off the history between him and Sheamus. That was a good match.
Mm-hmm.
That was the perfect match for them to have at WrestleMania to just
And
to work off of that history and for it to be a grudge match between two friends. I think it would have been better built for WrestleMania than
oh my
sticking him
God,
with Bobby Lashley. Because
you
thing about it,
remember
what's up?
Sheamus gave him that sword.
Mm-hmm.
Sheamus gave him the sword, and it was like I felt like that would have been the thing right there. And the person who should have been there, and again, people may agree or disagree with me on this, but we know it ain't gonna happen because of the ongoing. Shout out to What Culture for having me say this ongoing bastard Brock Lesnar because you got Bobby Lashley, who's the WWE champion, and you got Brock Lesnar, who never got his rematch for a title he lost. And that was the match I think a lot of people been waiting on. Bobby himself been waiting on. I felt like this would have been a good time to do it.
Oh yeah,
But
it
of
would have been
course,
a definitely,
the
but with with COVID, Brock ain't coming. Brock
Brock is
ain't traveling nowhere. He ain't traveling not
Brock is in
nowhere.
Canada and he's chilling right now until the whole
Yeah,
thing is gone.
yeah.
And
Till he feels confident enough, or if they just pay him an ungodly amount of money to come down and do it. That's
but
really it.
with Drew though, it's like I love Drew, I do. But I want Bobby to keep it, but I don't want him to keep it in the way he's doing. I don't want him to be a cowardly heel. I need him to be an unstoppable monster, man. I
Yeah,
need him to be a freight train. Drew can be. They can have a hard hitting match. That's still
it needs
possible.
to
They're
be.
going to still have
It
a great
needs to
match.
be for them for it to not be a thing where it's just like well people with the crowd turns on Drew McIntyre because they don't want him to to win it or whatever. It needs
Mm.
to be exactly what you said. It needs to be a very hard hitting match where we're kicking out a finisher type thing where if people feel like dang man,
I need a. I need a.
I don't know who's gonna win this, but
I need
whoever
a
wins
strong
this,
ass.
yeah,
I need a strong ass Claymore. I need a
yeah,
strong ass Claymore, and he kicks out. I need a strong ass. I need Bobby to hit the Dominator again. I need him to hit a Dominator and make sure the damn ring rattle. I need somebody to use the turnbuckle, the outside post, to do some shit. I need people to wreck shit. I need spirits and barricades. I need this shit to literally be a fucking fight. You know?
It needs to be.
That's the only thing.
Put it this way: it needs to be when they fought at, was it Slammiversary? Yeah, Slammiversary some years ago in TNA.
Ooh, history. That's right, history.
So they fought for the TNA World Championship back then. So I needed to be, that match was really good. So it needs to be that type of match. Night 2, we got Riddle versus Sheamus for the United States Championship.
Let's pray Riddle don't forget his lines this time.
With this, I don't. The United States Championship really doesn't do anything for Sheamus because he's held it before. The championship he really wants is the Intercontinental Championship because that would literally make him a Grand Slam champion. Which I have a feeling that would probably end up in the draft. I have a feeling either Sheamus is switching brands again or the championship is coming to a different brand because I think they want to end up at some point making that happen for him at some point.
God damn. I'm looking at another matchup here, and it's another celebrity.
Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn.
Oh, God.
Which had some involvement of Logan Paul.
We don't need this right now, man. You just need Zayn and Owens. You don't need Paul.
And the consensus is that they wanted to have a celebrity on each night, which is why they got Logan Paul involved on night 2. You got Bad Bunny on night 1. It's like, why?
Wait, which one of Paul brothers? Which one of Paul brothers knocked out Nate Robinson?
Logan.
Was it Logan?
Yeah, it's Logan.
Oh no! For the love of God, no. I need him gone. I just need Zayn and Owens. That alone is good. That alone is good. You don't need Paul.
They can care. Let them do their thing. If you give them enough time to do their thing, which I hope they do, if they give them enough time to do their thing, they'll do what they need to do. So, we already talked about who we think will win against Biggie and Apollo Crews for their kind of championship. We kind of touched on that already. The Fiend versus Randy Orton.
With Mrs. Orton at ringside because she didn't like what Alexa Bliss did to Orton in that pin, that quote unquote pin that she did.
When she straddled him, yes.
So I need Mrs. Orton to pop out and hit a RKO.
So here's what I think with the Fiend versus Orton match. I think they are going to go for. I don't think the Fiend is that because some people feel like because he burnt up the Fiend back last year, the end of last year. I don't think the Fiend is gone because I think WWE is reaching for a character to be that undefeated streak that the Undertaker had. I feel like that's what they're reaching for. And since Bray Wyatt was beat by John Cena, that can't happen. He was beat by Undertaker, and that can't happen. So they can easily say the Fiend is undefeated at WrestleMania. So I feel like Bray Wyatt is going to beat Randy Orton. There's rumor that Fiend, the one that popped up that was burned, a lot of people saying that's Bo Dallas. They're saying that's Bo Dallas.
And they feel the other Fiend,
the real
Bray
Fiend,
Wyatt.
Yeah, the real Fiend is Bray Wyatt. You're gonna have more than one. I'm like, I kind of like that.
Finally, because they can do something with Bo Dallas for fuck's sake. Finally,
yeah, the brothers can finally do something together. Yeah.
Well, but yeah, and also this is a revenge plot for the Fiend anyway. Because keep in mind, remember the first little inkling of this when Bray looked at the picture of Randy burning his the Wyatt compound down, and of course the whole WrestleMania 33 weird projector match in which Orton actually beat Bray for the World title.
Which is kind of full circle, which kind of what led to him becoming the Fiend. Because after the house was burned down, he went away for a long time, and then the Fiend popped up months later. So yeah, this is literally the Fiend getting back at everybody. He coming to get his just dues. Yep.
So Bray, if you're out there, Bray, I ain't do shit to you.
I think this would be really his character coming because he's literally, if you think about it, the Fiend has literally had a hit list.
He's touched everybody.
The only person he hasn't touched is Taker. But
he can't touch Taker now.
But he can't touch Taker now because he's retired. But he's got everybody else that he's ever wronged him. So,
for the fans out there, hold on before we move on, just to give a checklist for the fans out there. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, I want to give you a good checklist right quick. Seth Rollins, Mr. Burn It Down to the Messiah. The Miz, a face, now a heel. Finn Balor, cracked his neck, now look at him. Came back with tattoos and a badass attitude. So, yeah, everybody the Fiend seemed to touch.
John Cena, gone.
Oh, yeah, John Cena's not going to be in WrestleMania this year. So that's an undefeated streak that's broken now.
Yeah. Yep. So
yay.
Let's see. Raw Women's Championship, Asuka versus Rhea Ripley. Asuka's injured. I feel like Rhea's going to take it.
Yeah, I think that's why they brought her along.
Yeah, she's working injured. She has kicked her in her teeth really bad, so she's working.
Shayna
kind of knocked the teeth, so she's working with some fake teeth right now until she gets that fixed, and it's gonna take some months, what she said, for her to get that fixed. So she's working kind of injured at the moment. So I have a feeling Rhea's probably gonna take that. And the main event for night 2, Roman Reigns versus Edge and versus Daniel Bryan for the Universal Championship.
So
every triple threat match in WrestleMania history has always been a great match. This will probably be no different.
All right, let's look at the history of all these 3 men right quick. All 3 men are people who are currently coming back on a good stretch after career-threatening things. Roman, in his case, is very life-threatening. Edge, in his case, life-threatening. Daniel Bryan, life-threatening. These men didn't think they would even be back at a WrestleMania after those things happened to them. Edge being the person who was, if anything, the longest person in this match that had went without wrestling or a whole 9 years without wrestling, only to find out he could wrestle again after taking a bump himself and is now back. Daniel Bryan, somebody who had been concussed so many times to which he had to go into retirement, but miraculously got so many tests done and passed all those tests finally in 2018, came back at WrestleMania of all things. Roman Reigns, a cancer survivor of all things. And I don't say that in a cynical way. I say that in a way in which this man literally battled an illness, not an injury, but an illness, and came back strong. And if anything, did something that a lot of people had been waiting on for years. Turned heel. He is the tribal chief now.
And he's been on the greatest run he's ever had. Ever.
No one can complain about this man now.
That's why I don't want him. That is why I don't want him to be beaten at WrestleMania. The reign needs to continue. It needs to also incorporate Jimmy, and as part of the tribe as well, to complete it.
Oh man. To be honest with you, I'm gonna honestly, I'm like what we said earlier. I feel like Big E's the end goal, so I feel like Reigns gonna have to take it. I hate, and I don't want to see Daniel Bryan or Edge lose, mainly because Daniel's been in this spotlight before, WrestleMania 30, and he overcame it. Edge is somebody who won another Royal Rumble, but for the first time at the number 1 spot in his main event at WrestleMania. He's won and lost. Well, if you count 27 as being a main event, considering it was at the start of the show, but still, this is an opportunity for a world title. But Roman, this thing all 3 of these men have in common in terms of championship matches. They've won either gaining one or retaining one. In Edge's case, he retained a title. Roman and Daniel's case, they gained a title. So it's a lot of similarities amongst these men here. Of course, I kind of put Daniel out of the equation mainly because, not too long ago they talking about his contract expiring and he wants to spend more time being at home. He's a father of 2 now.
I feel like Daniel is in. I think Daniel's put in the match to eat the pin. I really do. I feel like he's in the match to eat the pin. Daniel doesn't really have anything to lose right now if he were to take the pinfall in his match, because what I feel like what's going to happen after this is going to be a feud because I think Edge is on the tour of dream matches right now, and the next dream match for him to have is to go against
Daniel
Edge.
Bryan.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Bryan and Edge, and like you said, Roman, he got other people he could face, but you know what I'm saying, he still can sit at the top of the mountain. It adds more to his heelness because it's like, you know, he won again and again. On top of that, you know, I feel like another match with Jay is gonna happen at some point. I honestly feel like it, even if it's not for the championship. I feel like another match with Jay is gonna happen. Because I said if he did drop the title, that's who he's gonna fight next. That's pretty much there. Like Jay Uso is gonna be so sick and tired of being a lapdog. He's gonna do this, he's gonna do that. His brother Jim's gonna come. They're gonna concoct a plan to beat Roman. But that's only if Roman.
See, the ideal thing was, I have a feeling the plan was prior to Daniel Bryan getting involved.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Jimmy is ready to come back, but they held it off because Christian signed with AEW. I feel like the plan would have possibly been Fastlane could have easily been the Usos versus Edge and Christian to get to Reigns.
I just realized it, because mainly, but damn, I hate Christian went, but hey, can't sit here and change the mind of somebody who has their mind made up. Yep. But yeah, honestly, I could have started, man, especially with them and the Rumble appearance. And Jimmy has been working out again. He's been in the gym. He's been putting in work. And honestly, you know, I'm just like this shit. Jimmy's already should be coming back this year. He got to be coming back this year.
Yeah, I have a feeling he's coming back at Mania to help Reigns retain the championship, to complete the tribe or the bloodline. To help. I have a feeling that's probably what's going to happen.
Or what if he super kicks Jay and they start fighting?
I don't see them. See, the thing is with that, I can't really. There's certain thing with tag teams that should never, like brother tag teams should never really feud. It didn't work with Matt and Jeff. It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work with Jimmy and Jay. Honestly, it's not. It's not gonna work with Jimmy and Jay. It's just gonna nullify. It's gonna nullify them both. And it's gonna be, what's the point? Because nobody out of the two, nobody really outshines the other one. They're very equal. So I feel like with them, there's no point in ever having a feud with the Usos. They can go off and do their own thing if they want to, and then get back together and back and forth. But with those two, there's no point. There's literally no point with doing a feud between them. That's almost like an ROH. That's like saying they would be like, they're going to have Mark and Jay Briscoe feud one another. There's no point, because there was a point where Jay went off by himself, won the ROH World Championship, and then came back and got back with his brother, and they're tag team champions again for the 50 millionth time. So it's like
50 million.
Yeah, there's really no point for them to do that. So yeah, I feel Reigns is gonna take it. Next opponent should be Cesaro after this, and Edge and Bryan break off and do their own feud with one another, and then Reigns can continue to go on and go against other opponents as well. So I feel that's how that's gonna end. But yeah, man, that's our predictions for WrestleMania 37. I really want to have time to do, being this 2-night. I really would like to. One day I want us at NerdFlow, I want us to do like a watch along, and do reactions on like our Twitch channel or a Facebook channel, something like that. I think that would be really cool. Maybe sometime in the future, maybe a future WrestleMania, that'll be a plan for us to do.
No. You know what's gonna be in the pipelines for us?
What's up?
We're gonna go.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna go. We're gonna do a whole.
I definitely want to do another one. I want to go to another one.
Wait, what you mean another one?
I was at 25, bro.
What? Why didn't you tell me?
I was in person for the greatest WrestleMania match of all time. Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker, the first time.
I'm up here. I'm thinking I'm the shiznit with this title sitting on my desk, and you've been so I've been wanting to go. I have so many questions.
The energy in the building in that match, oh my god!
I don't think you know what I'm doing, Roy. I'm over here challenging. I'm challenging AJ when he found out I almost could talk. So I'm saying exactly the same thing he said when he found out I almost could talk. But at the same time, I am jealous because I'm like, man, I've been wanting to go to a live wrestling show ever. And on top of it, you had the advantage because, of course, it was in Texas at that time.
Yeah,
So I figured you've been to at least one of these Texas WrestleMania.
I've been to 25, and I've also been to a TNA. When it was TNA, I went to TNA Victory Road 2008 or 7. It was when Ultimate X was going on. This is when Sting. This is when I tell you the match, the main event. It was when Joe was the TNA World Champion. He went against Booker T, and Sting came back as well.
Oh yeah, that's night. 2008. That was 2008, man. Because that was when Joe won the title in 2008. It was the HD era.
Yeah.
And Sting was supposedly heel because he's supposed to been in the main event Mafia.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the one. That's the one I was at. I was literally on floor seats by the entryway. I will never, ever in life do entryway ever again, purely because Abyss almost burned off the freaking back of my head hairs, bro. Because that fire was hot. Never. I don't get the allure with ringside seats, bro. Like, especially by the entryway, I don't get the allure. Put me in the mid area where I can still see what's going on, but not too far up.
I'm with you on that, man, because I would prefer those seats. I had friends that actually went to a SmackDown taping, and I thought I couldn't go because of my time at my other job. I thought I used it. Come to find out my punk ass still had the time. I could have fucking went, and I was off that damn day. I was so heated. Them folks went to SmackDown, and I had to sit there with tears coming out my face, watching my friends on their Snap stories, asking, "Who is that? Ain't that John Cena? Who is that he's talking to? Who the brown hair guy?" I was literally screaming in the phone, "That's AJ Styles!" Oh, I should have went.
The people that know nothing about wrestling went. What the hell?
No, I ain't gonna talk about my friends like that because my friend at the time, she knew and still does know John Cena. John Cena is her hero, basically. So she doesn't know AJ Styles because she hasn't seen Styles at that point. This was when Styles first, this was in 2017. This was before.
Yeah, when Styles was like brand new. All right, man. We're going to bring All Into Wrestling into a wrap, man. This is episode 7, and this is a NerdFlow podcast bonus show. And we will catch you guys on the next one. Please make sure you guys catch NerdFlow podcast next week. We'll be live on Facebook Live and or our Twitch channel as well. So please go check that out.
Oh, snap. I'm fully back now.
Okay.
That was a glitch. It was a glitch. Sorry, people. It was a glitch in the Matrix. But yeah, yeah. I feel like I was like lag. Yeah, that was a real life lag I just did. I was lagging. Oh my God. On Easter.
But all right, man, we're going to go ahead and wrap All Into Wrestling, man, and we will catch you guys on the next episode of NerdFlow Podcast.
If you have an Infinity Gauntlet, don't snap your fingers. We all need to sit here and be alive. I don't need to relive when Thanos snapped it. Oh, God, I'm disappearing. Oh, no. Oh, no.
We'll catch y'all guys on the next one, y'all.
I can't see my right hand. Oh, my God.